everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Garden on the Green. It's been a little while, in fact it's been a long while since I did the last video. I think it was early last year. No apologies, no explanations, just I lost interest and I got tied up with other things, and it just all kind of just fell off the to-do list, as it were. So making a real attempt to get it up and running again, get the videos up and running. So fingers crossed, this will be the start of several videos. It's when is it? It's late January now. It's the 26th of January today. There's not much going on in the garden. There's nothing going on as far as sort of growing is concerned, really, although there is a few bits and pieces there and a few bits in the greenhouse. I'll show you around later, but it's really getting everything ready for the season. So everything's looking a bit untidy and a bit messy, but it's that kind of in progress rather, of getting things tidied, getting things ready for March, really, when things really kick off with the sowing. So yeah, what I'll do is I will show you around. Actually, the weather's turned. It was absolutely glorious this morning. It was I think we had a frost overnight. It was really sunny. The sun was out. It was, it wasn't warm. It was cold, but it was very, very pleasant. Unfortunately, I couldn't get out into the garden because I had other things to do. But now I can get out in the garden. It's now turned. The wind has really picked up, and it's now started to rain. So I will quickly whiz you guys around and show you what's what, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I've been weeding down here, so I'm just going to give it a quick rake over, just to rake off the top of the weeds. Just take the top off, just pulled them out and put them onto the ground. Just got a plastic leaf rake here, which is ideal for just skimming the top of the surface of the bed. And then it gives a nice level, but a nice sort of top. But then I can see where I'm at. And then I get my mushroom compost, or I've got some compost that I made last year, so I can get that. I can just layer that on here. I've got some sprouting broccoli is going to go in here somewhere. I can't exactly remember where according to my plan, but it's over in this general area somewhere. And the garlic I've got to plant out in this area here, so that can all go out now, so I just need to prepare the ground for it. I've decided also I'm going to plant in smaller blocks, so rather than having this vast sort of large rows, I'm going to plant in smaller blocks. So I've got a pathway running down there just outside of the camera shot. That's where the camera is now. And I've got a small row here, which I'm probably going to keep where I'm standing now. So I'm thinking of actually making a pathway here, so I can come down, walk up and down. It creates a small block there, so I'm going to grow sort of smallish bits, and then a square area there, which is going to have I think I've got Brussels sprouts, kohlrabi, and I can't remember what else, but other things. I've got the my garden plan in progress. I'm using one of these online ones, which is really good. I've never really managed to get the hang of it, but going to focus on it this year again, and use the facility of being able to plant, crops after one lot's finished, so succession planting and so on. So that's the plan, but like I say, all good plans and all that. Just going to get down and do a bit more weeding here. There's a bit of weed here, so I just need to clear this area using my new kneeling pad. So you're getting old when you have to have a kneeling pad for Christmas. So Jacob bought that for me for Christmas, but you can see the sort of things that's been stuck in here. So there's some nettle in here, some decent sized roots in there, So just pulling those out. They're coming out quite nicely actually, because the ground here is really soft. I've had a couple of years of compost and stuff on top of the soil here. So this was grass in here, and there's a lot of tree roots in here as well. So there was grass in here, on here. This is where the goats were a few years ago now. And I've just put some mushroom compost and some homemade compost on here with cardboard. And that's coming on really nicely now. You know, the soil itself is quite crumbly. Quite a nice soil structure here. And I shall continue to just put soil compost on top. It's not dug over but as such. I mean, I'm going through here at the moment because I've got so many bloody weeds in here, but just pulling them out. But if I manage to keep on top of it, I can probably get the whole no dig stuff properly done. But you say stuff's pulling out nicely, and the soil is pretty good. So I say I've got some mushroom compost coming, so I shall just top that up. Also got some quite decent sized tree roots in here, so there's my bucket. A pair of secateurs and just chop that off. There we go, and that's, you know, we get in there. You know, it's early January and it's quite nice to be able to get out and actually do something in the garden, even if it is just a bit of weeding and stuff. One thing I do have noticed in here, and there's a warning to everybody that's using cardboard, I keep pulling bits of plastic. So I've used cardboard packaging, Amazon packaging and so on and so forth, and boxes that people have given me. Just try really hard to get the plastic off, the sellotape, whatever, but you do invariably miss, and I keep finding bits of plastic, so that's something just to be mindful of when you're using the cardboard. You know, the plastic doesn't rot down, obviously, and you end up with loads of it everywhere. But yeah, it's quite nice. It's quite a chilly day. Well, I say it's chilly, my hands are cold, but I myself am quite toasty. So there we go. It's quite exciting actually doing this, because doing it you're thinking actually, yeah, I can plant this in here and that over there, and you kind of create your blank canvas again. So you've got this area here where there's nothing really in it, and I think actually give it 3 or 4 months and this area will be full of plants growing and everything else. So it's a really nice, I quite like it. That's a time where you can start planning and getting stuff done. Then it all goes to pot because other things get in the way or other things happen, but you know, you can only do your best, you know. And it is growing for fun rather than growing for whatever. And the other thing I've got to really focus on this year is not to grow food that is not going to be eaten. That's something we fall into the trap of every year. It's growing stuff and then it just doesn't get eaten. Grow it because, oh, that looks nice, or oh, we ought to grow that, and then never gets actually touched. Like, I grow lots of chard, but never really gets eaten. I don't particularly like it. But it's one of those things, oh, we must grow some chard, but doesn't get eaten. It makes a nice sort of border plant, so I might just grow it for border. I don't know yet. I just don't know. It's one of those plants where it's quite nice as a border. You get the rainbow lights, the multicoloured ones. But we will see. We will see. So here we are in the potting shed. As you can see, it's all a bit untidy. I'm just sort of moving things around, tidying things up, getting things out, throwing things away. One thing I have done is I've gone out and bought my potatoes, or some of my potatoes. I've got a bag of First Early, so I've got Red Duke of York here, and I've also got under here Pentland Javelin, so I'm going to do a white and a sort of a ready one for first earlies. And then main crop, I've gone for Sharpo Mira. I've gone for these because they are blight resistant, and last year we got hit by blight, and I didn't lose all my main crop, but the harvest wasn't particularly good. So yeah, so I've gone for a blight resistant variety this time, and the first earlies obviously will be done before the blight starts to hit. So we'll head out into the greenhouse. I've just picked my microphone up, just hopefully you can't hear the winds too much, and we're in. So here we've got a few things growing. I've actually mostly in here are onions. So I've got some onions and some garlic growing in here. Got some really small weedy looking kale, but they are growing, they are doing stuff. So I'm going to put those out maybe in a month's time. There's a bit more here which is a bit healthier, so I might put that out a little earlier. We've got some purple sprouting broccoli plants here which will be ready to go out. Well, they're ready to go out now, so I shall put those out in the next couple of weeks. So swinging round, we've got just onions. I mean, they are pretty much ready to go out. I'll get them out soonish. I'll just wait for this cold weather to perhaps get over. And again, some more onions here. But as you see, as I swing around, the greenhouse is looking a little untidy, but just because I'm in the process of sorting out pots and bits and pieces. So yeah, so that's the greenhouse. So there are things growing in here. It's, it's the end of January. So I'm just taking you down into the market garden, which incidentally is 3 years old. It was 3 years old officially, I think, about Wednesday this last week. So yeah, the whole thing's been going for 3 years. So really pleased with it. And it's coming on really nicely as the time goes on. And the soil here is really good. As I've been weeding, been noticing how much deeper the soil is going. The compost being on top is actually now being integrated into the soil underneath, which is really nice. So yeah, we've done some clearing. I've got a couple of bits in here. I've got a curry plant there, which is growing quite nicely, and I've got a few bits of chard still clinging on, which is good. As we swing round, again, you can see garlic chives just sort of about here. So hopefully we'll get some more from them this year. Thyme, which isn't looking overly great, I think it needs to be trimmed back. Hopefully that will come back. And then there's some more chard here. So tend to use as edging. It's really good as edging. Edible edging, as it were. So coming through, we've got our calette plants, which I need to recover actually, because the wind is just blowing the covers. I've had to cover them because the pigeons have been in and eaten the leaves, as you can see on here. But having covered them, they seem to be recovering a little. It might be a bit late for them, but we will see. So coming through into what is known as pen 2. Okay, really quite bare. See the trees there. The rhubarb is coming, and I've really got to get in here and weed, but the rhubarb is coming, so you can see rhubarb coming up there. Coming through, again the fruit cage is looking really untidy, but the bushes are full of bud, which is good. And then coming through the polytunnel, that was, so the covers blew off last year, but some quite strong. We've been getting some really strong winds recently, and with the field over here, it's all just very open, so it just blows straight off the field and blew the covers and damaged those. So the plan is for this year is to recover it with proper polytunnel plastic. I was going to cover it with mesh and plant brassicas in here, but never got round to it. But I have got some kale growing in here. Did plant some out and it got eaten, pigeons and rabbits, I think. So I've covered it and it seems to be recovering, so that's a good thing. Coming through, this was the squash beds. I've just kind of left it. It just needs weeding and recovering with compost. So that's a job for the next couple of months. Again, I shall extend this bed. The idea is this whole pen will become like the first pen, with most of it being down to beds. So this is the chicken, or what was the chicken area. All quite overgrown at the moment. Sadly, we did lose our chickens. We had 2 left, and we lost 2. The last 2 must have been about August time when we went on holiday, came back, and sadly they'd been got by something. We don't know what, and we haven't found any remains. So yes, we've not got any. So I'm in the process of clearing some of this out, getting rid of some of the brambles around the back, and we will be getting more and redoing, and they'll be getting a nice new house and home. So when we hopefully get some new ones in the summertime. So here's the gated area. The arch has done really well. It did really well last year. I had sweet peas, and I've got honeysuckle growing up it, which is doing really, really well. Just needs to be tidied up a bit, trained a bit more. Trespasses will be composted. I had a clematis growing up here, I think, which seems to have died. I'm not sure if it should come back, but I will have a look. But some more clematis, more honeysuckle, I think, or is that clematis? Anyway, there's something growing there, some leaves. But yeah, I should put some more stuff in here. Sweet peas were growing over it, so it was really good. Worked really well. The whole area here just needs a bit of a tidy up and going over. We've got curry plant edging. We'll hope that will turn into a curry plant hedge. This was supposed to be a flower bed, which is a bit tatty. There's a few things that are growing in here. And leeks, well, what can I say about my leeks, apart from they've been eaten by something and not me. So the celery, which I did grow, has kind of come to an end, and I just haven't managed to pull it out yet. So but it did well. The leeks, I mean, the whole thing this year, I'm going to have to look at protecting beds from rabbits and pigeons. So that's a mission for this year. So I've started chitting my potatoes. I unpacked them earlier, and I've just popped them in these module trays. So I've got the Red Duke of York here, and they're already, some of them have really got some quite long shoots on, so I hope they're going to be all right. They should be. I'm planning to plant those into the ground sort of mid to end February, so they should be all right. There's quite a few of these actually. I'm quite chuffed. Some of them are quite small, and then some of them are quite big, but that's fine, I'm sure. I've never grown these ones before, so this will be a good one. Looking forward to trying these. And then Pentland Javelin here, so I've just got those out as well. So yeah, fingers crossed they all chit nicely, and then we can pop them in the ground in a few weeks' time. And then I've got my Sharpo mirror. I won't start chitting those just yet. I'll probably wait until I've got these ones out, and then I'll pop these ones in to start chitting. I'll also be looking at getting some Charlotte potatoes for salad. We do like those for nice salad potatoes. But yeah, I'll probably go and buy those in the next 2 or 3 weeks, so I've got them ready. So I finally got round to finishing the first video. It's taken a little while, a few attempts, a few little sort of hiccups here and there, but I've got the first one done. It's the end of January now, so we're getting towards that time where we can think about starting sowing. So like I said earlier, I've got a few chilies in seed trays. They're in the propagator. I've got my potatoes chitting in the shed, as you saw earlier. So we are getting there, and we've just got to get through February. And then once we've got through February, the planting and sowing really kicks off. So hopefully I'll get round to showing those videos, or recording those videos and bringing you guys along with me. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you very, very soon.